Hey guys, we're getting ready to pull out that beast right there. That's garbage. Just kidding. But I bought
As some would say, shitbox.
Shitbox. Anyways, I bought these gloves because I thought of you. I read antimicrobial and I thought, Fabio.
He's trying to get rid of me. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining us once again. And if you're new, thank you for choosing to watch us. So today we're gonna actually go over how to remove an M20 from an E30. It's fairly simple, very straightforward. For this, we're just gonna go over some key points. Disconnect the harness, the engine harness, the coolant lines, remove the radiator actually, undo the transmission mounting points.
Power steering pump. Power steering pump.
Power steering pump. Also undo the shaft, the drive shaft. God, I could not think of that. Undo the drive shaft. I think that's it. That's pretty much it. If I missed anything at this point, comment down below what you think it is missing. Very straightforward, so let's get to it. This might be a little more difficult if your car isn't already halfway torn down, as this spectacular specimen is. So typically what you would do here, guys, you remove the radiator and all the coolant lines associated with it because you're gonna pull it out, right? So when you pull it out, can't have that stuff connected.
Or because you want to use them for your project car.
Yeah, or if you're like me and you cop them off your brother's car to put them on your convertible, then that's what you do. So from this point on, we're gonna actually lift up the rear and clean this up a little bit so it's a little more manageable. We can get everything out of the way here and unbolt everything. And that's not our bus, by the way, so don't disclaimer that's not ours.
No, that's not ours. Why is it all like flimsy?
It's because it's on that stupid little tripod. Alright guys, what we're doing here is one of the steps that we mentioned before is that we're disconnecting all the wires that have to do with the engine harness, because all of that stuff needs to be completely out of the way in order to pull everything out. While it is not necessary to pull off the intake manifold, it does make things easier, like reaching the starter wires. And as you may have noticed in the start of the video, this was already kind of halfway off, so everything that's kind of just in the way, just tag and bag it. Make sure you don't lose the bitch tube and the O-rings that go along with it, or at the very least, don't lose this washer, because this goes there. Tag and bag, guys. Tag and bag. If you guys are not familiar with and are new to the BMW scene, there's an engine harness. So this connects all the components from the engine to the DME and intertwines with the body harness. But more than anything, this is what feeds information.
Importantly, it connects to the fuse box.
Yes. So the C101, which is this one.
T1000.
The T1000 polymimetic alloy. This C101 connects to the fuse box. But when we go back to the bigger connector here, this actually goes to the DME, which is inside your glove box. This routes through the firewall. You get all the information from all the different connectors around the engine, and that's how the electrical works.
I think you should also make a distinction between the 325E and the I
Right.
on the port.
Right. Okay, so 325E, guys, that's Motronic 1. If I'm wrong, please correct me down in the comments. It's 2 rows, and it's not a 3-row like this. So you'd know by the different types of connections you got on your engine harness, and also by the rows on the actual connector. There's only 2 on an early one. I have a early Motronic DME. I'll show you. I'm gonna show you that to you right now. All right, guys, in front of me there are 2 different DMEs. As I stated right before this clip, this is a 3-row connector. This is a later Motronic DME. And on 528E, 328E, all the E models typically will have a 2-row, typically we'll have a 2-row Motronic connector just like that. You have to know kind of what Motronic version you're dealing with when you're dealing with, say, a swap in a car like this, because a later body harness slash fuse box connector and all that will actually seam into your swap better if it's say a C101 like this with a later style plug, because some of these plugs are square and it's a whole different ball game when you're dealing with that.
I think it's also worthy to notice or to note that the reason that the M50 is a great candidate for these vehicles is because the M20 was also a cross-platform engine with the E34. So the harnesses are almost identical. So mid, 1990, 91, that vehicle, switched from an M20 to an M50.
Yeah, it actually came, 89?
Right.
89 with
kept,
M20.
The majority of the components for the harness. So really that's the most sophisticated, reason why it's so swappable.
That's why in a lot of cases people will use the C101 connector and just repin it to feed the M50 DME what it should be seeing, and that's really it. That's why it's such a popular swap. It's not easy. No swap I'd say is actually easy, but it's a lot more user-friendly, intuitive. I don't know what word would be. Intuitive, yeah. So if it's going to be your first swap, at least make it be an M50, because that's kind of a better transplant, an easier transplant. So let's move on with it. We're almost done. Actually, surprisingly, this was way easier with 2 people. Who would have thunk, right? Who would have thunk? But let's take this thing out. Let's get it.
You've gotten this far, it's Miller time. Just kidding.
But seriously, pat yourself on the back, because you've done a lot. What time is it?
It's time to pull out the engine.
It's hoist time. Yay.
So remember how we said everything has to be disconnected?
Guess what we overlooked? You just gotta remember to do this.
You just gotta pull the engine all the way up.
Yeah, you gotta wait until
it actually snaps.
Yeah. But let's add this to the list, yeah? We'll always be super transparent with you guys, and this is one of those things that we overlooked it, so we're being upfront. Make sure you undo the clutch line, and from there it should be easy peasy. There you have it, guys. The motor is out, and was it hard?
Nope.
Well, my brother has back pains. I mean, it's a different story, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. It's just take your time, honestly. We went over the hot points quite a few times, so I don't think I need to go over them again. If anything, I'll put them down in the description below. But if you guys have any other questions that we didn't cover in the video, feel free to ask them down in the comment section below.
Well, this bad boy is eventually gonna get rebuilt. We're looking forward to actually cracking it open and taking a look at the crank, rods. There's various, suspicions that we may have about this engine, so hopefully those are confirmed when we crack it open. We're stoked for the swap. This guy's gonna go take a nap. We'll crack it open at some later point. In the meantime, we're just gonna get ready to start doing that M50, swap.
Well, I guess now's a good time to tell them that we are going to do the swap. No, they didn't know that. So, surprise, this is coming out because it is getting a swap.
Oh, I didn't know they know. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't know that, yeah.
So, did you guys know we're doing a swap?
Yeah, one of many. This is probably going to be the first one we're going to cover. And, of course, it's on his car because, I mean, we have to do everything cool on his car. But it's going to be really awesome. So, one of the 3 blocks that we have sitting here is gonna go in that car, and oh god, oh jeez, yeah, keep your shop clean, guys. Okay, so this is an M50. I think they're both E36 M50s, right? Why don't you come tell them? I have no idea.
They're both M50s, and you can tell there's 2 of them. This one, let's see. Oh, you can totally tell. So they're both. This one has the, what do you call them? The knock sensors, right?
Oh yeah, the knock sensors on the block. Yeah,
it's an M50 TU. So this is the later models. This was actually pulled out from an E36, and this is from an E34. So it's an earlier M50. So not the TU. So that's what's so exciting about these 2 engines, because they share parts. The only difference, I think, besides the actual design of the piston, you'll see that the earlier piston actually is flat. I'm sorry, the later piston is flat right here. So you see the cylinder, and then the piston, it's flat. Whereas in the earlier version, it's concave. There's a lot of dialogue about which one's better. They have slightly different strokes, but they're just as equally as good. Either for boosting or just daily driving. We're just excited because these are both fine specimens for a swap. And one of these is going to go in my car, and the other one's going to go into another project that I hope we can work simultaneously.
Yeah, because I mean, on top of having these projects for ourselves, that's another project. That's an M62 that I haven't announced yet, but all of this is happening all at once, honestly. So the big scheme of this, at least for me, I want my brother and I to go to E30 picnic this year. And I've mentioned it on the Instagram a couple times that we're building cars to go, since we're getting rid of the red E30, so by then we won't have it anymore, but we do have our own separate coupes that we're building. And I told him by June, I want to have our cars ready to go to E30 picnic, because I believe that's when the event is. So this is for his car, and the M62 will be for my car.
You know, I've yet to decide what I'm going to do with that M50 because I do have some goodies for it. I was able to source some S52 cams.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so S52 cams and also DME, an M3 DME, which, you know, an E36 OBD1 DME that's, you know, suitable for one of these engines. So the combinations are, you know, endless. One of the things that I really look forward to is actually restoring the engine. I'm not going to do internals. You know, I wish I could, you know, afford some, like, you know, forged rods and just throw in all that stuff in there. But in the meantime, you know, we're just going to go with, you know, stock.
Yeah, stock bearings, stock rings. I mean, let alone we know for a fact that a lot of people out there have run quite a bit of boost on it, no problem, reliably.
With stock.
Yeah.
So eventually we may use one of these blocks for, you know, for boosting. Who knows? But the more blocks, the better, right? So we might probably, you know, source another one out. I look also forward to probably sourcing out an M52, although not too stoked because OBD2 is just so cumbersome to work with. And
yeah,
oh man, one of the things that I fear is just emissions, especially if you're in California. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we'll figure it out.
Yeah, eventually we'll probably find a way to, you know,
to
accommodate, you know, those you know, mods. But in the meantime, we look forward to working on these. So many things going on, like my brother says. But yeah, hang tight with us, and you know, we'll share some of our experiences with you.
We owe our own personal cars a lot of dedication. We've been so busy with the shop, so busy trying to get it in order, trying to make sure that our business as a shop can survive. And I mean, really, it's a huge undertaking, but we would love to have you guys along for the ride. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for seeing what we have in store. If you have any ideas for future videos involving the swaps or involving any sort of detailed work that we might not show, let us know. We'll be happy to do a video in the future for those ideas. Until next time, guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Take care.